All right, this is day one. I'm super excited to bring this workout series for you guys. We've been asked a ton of times, if you guys were to plan out, Mind Pump were to plan out the perfect 30 days to get somebody started towards their health and fitness journey, what would that look like? This series is, we're gonna take care of every single day for the next 30 days for you. But pay attention, because a lot of people, this is what they tend to do as soon as January rolls around. They got new year, new you, new goals, and they go gung-ho. But what we're gonna show you guys is how to strategically progress this every single day. You're gonna have all kinds of strength exercise in there, endurance, hypertrophy. We're gonna get into mobility. We're gonna address all types of different stuff. But the idea of this, you guys wanna follow it to a T. So we got Justin and Sal. We're gonna go over Justin doing the movements, then Sal's gonna break the science and the programming down at the end. But make sure you guys are tuning in every single day. Turn your notifications on, because we're gonna lay out your workout for your first 30 days getting into the gym.
All right, we're here with the handsome Justin Andrews from the Mind Pump podcast.
Absolutely. You don't have to get clothes that are a little too tight like he's wearing right now. That's just his style. So what he's going to do is he's going to do the first exercise we're going to recommend in your workout, which is the good old-fashioned bench press. Some people would call this the squat for the upper body. Not sure if I fully agree, but this is definitely a foundational exercise.
No, I definitely think it's a foundational exercise, but it's also an exercise that a lot of people struggle with as far as form and technique because of imbalances and then getting themselves in the right position. So first thing that Justin wants to do is going to lay all the way back on the bench. And keep in mind, too, this movement, a lot of people neglect to pay attention to the position of their feet and getting their feet really grounded. This movement does use leg drive.
Some people try to take their feet off the floor and put it up on the bench. That is wrong. You want them on the floor. You want to keep your butt on the bench, and you want your lower back arched, and you want to pull your shoulder blades back. Now, some of you may feel like you want to be flat, like you want to be totally flat on the bench. You don't want that. You actually want a nice natural arch in your low back.
And there's a reason for that, right? We don't want the flat back, because what ends up happening, then your shoulders come forward, and your shoulders get a lot of stress, especially in a bench press, because people tend to flare their elbows out.
That's right. Now, Justin's going to grab a grip on the bar that's outside his shoulders. So he takes a relatively wide grip, but not too wide. Some of you may like one that's a little more narrow. Really doesn't make a huge difference. You want to unrack the bar. Stay nice and tight with those shoulders, and you want to bring it down to your chest and press it right back up with just switch directions, come back up, just like that. And you may want to go super fast with these, or you may feel shaky. Control is super important. Control the weight. Don't let it bounce. Don't let it jerk. You want to do small pauses at the bottom and top of the exercise to maintain that control. You'll also notice his elbows are slightly tucked. Now, some of you may want to flare your elbows way out. Probably not a good idea for the shoulders. You want to keep them just slightly tucked so that they're a little closer to your body than totally flared out.
You also need to pay attention when you first unrack the bar and you pull it over your chest. The first thing that's going to happen is gravity and the weight are going to want to push your back flat. And you can't see Justin doing this, but he's actively paying attention to his shoulders being retracted and depressed down, keeping that natural arch in his low back.
Your shoulders may want to roll forward at the top of the rep. Keep them pinned back. That'll clear the shoulder so that it can travel in a safe fashion, and it also activates the pecs a little bit better. He also has a full grip. So some people go thumbless with their grip. Maybe Justin can demo what a thumbless grip looks like. You don't want to do that. I know Arnold has done bench press like that, and not necessarily a good idea. Let's go full grip, tight grip on the bar. This is an excellent tempo. You'll notice it takes him about 2 seconds to come down and about 1 or 2 seconds to come up. That's perfect. Let's keep it at that. You're looking to do about 8 to 12 reps of this exercise for 3 sets. You don't want to go to failure. You want to stop about 1 or 2 reps short of complete failure. In other words, if you're doing 10 reps, it's with an exercise you can max out with at 12 reps. So in other words, you could do 12, but you stop at 10. Take a break. You want to rest about between 1 to 2.5 minutes or so. Get back under the bar, do it again, and that's your bench press. Next exercise we're moving to is the pull-up.
So we're on to the pull-up now. Now, some people are going to need to do a regression, so I just want to point that out right away that not everybody is going to be able to do a full pull-up like Justin. So some of the options, okay.
A lat pull down.
Right, a lat pull down would be an option. Or if your gym has a assisted pull-up machine.
Gravitron, we used to call it back in the day.
Right, this would be ideal because we are shooting for that 8 to 12 rep range, so a lot of people will struggle with 8 to 12 reps.
That's a lot of reps for pull-ups for a lot of people.
Right. So just
especially a guy as big as Justin.
Right, keep that in mind.
So you want to take a grip on the bar right outside the shoulder. So you'll notice Justin's grip isn't super wide, but it's also not super narrow. It is overhand, so his palms are facing away from him. That's what you want to do. A lot of people like to do pull-ups with the supinated grip with the palms facing back, but we're going to recommend you do them in this direction.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just what we have programmed in here right now is an overhand grip.
That's it. So when you start the pull-up, you want to look up at the bar, and you want to keep that strong arch in the back, pulling the chest to the bar, and come back down nice and controlled. You want full reps. You want to come all the way up and then all the way down for full extension. Pull the chest to the bar and up. You notice how his shoulders are staying back, and it's almost like he's leading with his chest. That's the idea.
Yes, you're trying to pull the chest to the bar, right, as you come up.
That's right, and you may feel like your shoulders want to roll forward when you do this. Try to keep them back and down. Really activate the lats and even that mid back. As you can tell, these are difficult. Again, 3 sets of this, 8 to 12 reps, just like you did with your bench press. You don't want to go to failure. You want to stop about 1 or 2 reps short of it. And the tempo you're seeing now is the tempo we recommend. It should take you 1 to 2 seconds to go up, come all the way down. You could pause at the bottom for a second or so, and then come all the way back up.
One of the other cues I like to give clients too is Justin is, as he's pulling himself up, he's thinking about driving his elbows into his back pockets. So if you think about driving your elbows in the back pockets, lifting your shoulder up in the bar, you get that really good back.
That's right. We think he should do 1 more rep. That's what we think. Let's see if he can't do the rep.
Great job. Then we're going to move on over to the overhead press. All right, here we are on to the overhead press with Justin. There's a lot of things to think about when we do this movement. I think it's an exercise that a lot of people struggle with. They tend to hurt their low back, or they don't take the shoulder through its fullest range of motion. So a couple things when you set up here. You're going to see Justin will get his hands on the bar about shoulder width apart. So he wants
bit wider than shoulder width.
Just a little bit. You want your elbows to be underneath your wrist when you're pressing here.
He's going to unrack the bar with it's going to be on his body and supported by his arms. He's going to unrack it and step forward. And now he's ready to do his overhead press. One of the most functional exercises you could do, by the way.
Before he starts, though, you'll see the first thing he does is he actually engages his glutes. He squeezes his butt and activates his core. That's going to support his lower half as he presses over his head.
Now he's going to press up and through. You'll notice as he comes up, his arms are straight up next to his head. His head is through the window, they like to call it. That means that watch as the bar clears his head and he kind of comes through with his head. This is important because that is a full rep. You don't want to be looking up at the bar, leaning back or arching while you're pressing. That's how low back problems happen.
And that's probably one of the most common mistakes is people tend to press up and then they want to look at the bar as they press up, and that will naturally arch that low back, stress that low back. We don't want that, so you want to keep those glutes engaged, the abs tight, and then like Sal said, pull the head through the window as he presses overhead. And you'll notice he even pauses and stabilizes the top. I love for my clients to hold the bar over their head, not just go up and down, pause at the top. There's a lot of good benefits to stabilizing the weight above your head.
So many benefits in the mid-back along with the shoulders. A lot of people don't realize this is not just a shoulder exercise. It's a great tricep exercise and upper back exercise. Elbows are always under the hands as well as you press. You don't want your elbows to flare way out to where they're outside of your hands. You want them to stay under the hands so that you're pressing straight up. Otherwise, you can cause shoulder problems. You'll also notice that full range of motion. Don't just stop at eye level. I see a lot of guys in the gym stopping at eye level with the overhead press. You want to go all the way down to the upper chest.
Right, take that shoulder through its fullest range of motion.
For full development. And when you're done, you rack it back up. You want to rest for about 1 to maybe 2.5, 3 minutes at the most, and then do your next set. We're going to recommend here 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Again, don't go to failure. Stop about 1 or 2 reps just short of it.
All right, guys, let me break down some of the science behind why we picked those 3 exercises for your first day in this workout that's going to be on this channel. The first exercise we picked was the bench press. Now, this is a lot of people's favorite exercise. It is considered a foundational movement. We like the bench press because it works all of the pushing muscles in that kind of horizontal position, the chest, the shoulders, and the triceps. We also picked on all the exercises 3 sets. That's a good general set number to start with. The first set tends to be the one where you're feeling out. The second one tends to be get a little harder. The third one is where we want you to challenge yourself. And we picked 8 to 12. Now, the reason why we picked 8 to 12, that's known as the hypertrophy range for repetitions. Now, hypertrophy means muscle fibers actually growing. That this doesn't mean that higher reps don't have value or that lower reps don't have value. We actually recommend people train all those different rep ranges. But for the purposes of this particular workout, we've programmed it all out to increase in volume as you continue. So to get your body to progress each and every workout. 8 to 12 reps for the sake of this particular workout, absolutely perfect. It's right in the middle. You're going to get a good pump. You're going to get a good feel. You're going to get it connected to your muscles. But as you progress, there's going to be a lot more volume with your workouts. This first workout's about 9 sets. You should be resting about 1.5 to 2 minutes. This entire workout's probably going to take you about 30 minutes. Don't worry, they're going to get harder and longer as you continue. Now remember, the idea isn't to throw everything but the kitchen sink at your body. The idea is to get you started and then have your body progress through this workout. Working out every day can be too much if it's not programmed properly. We're going to train you every single day, but every day is done with expert programming to get your body to progress and improve the entire time. In fact, what you're going to notice with tomorrow's workout is you're not going to be doing traditional resistance training exercises. You're going to be doing more mobility exercises. And that's how these workouts are going to look. One day may be more foundational. The next day may be more mobility. The day after tomorrow will actually be a lower body workout with foundational exercises just like this one. This is a great workout to do with friends. Have people included. It's every single day, so it's something that gets people motivated. By the end of these 30 days, you should notice significant improvements in strength, muscle development, and fat loss if your nutrition is good. Look, we really appreciate you joining us for these. Stay tuned. Every single day, there's a new workout, whether it's mobility, strength, whether it's a rotational movement. These are your more foundational. We're working all in the same kind of plane. There'll be stuff that's going to be working side to side, stuff that's going to include a lot of twisting. You're going to love how your body responds. Also, share this with your friends. Have them follow along. It's by far one of the best workouts we have ever seen. Of course, we designed it. That's only 30 days long. But again, at the end of that 30 days, these workouts are going to be much longer and much more difficult. Also, subscribe to this channel so you get notifications every time we post one of these videos.